Narrator has come a long way. Built with community feedback, it's now a powerful, reliable screen reader in Windows. Everyday tasks, from setting up a new PC to browsing and completing forms, are faster and more dependable. With scan mode and improved shortcuts, move quickly through web pages and documents, navigating headings, links, and tables with ease. Across Microsoft 365, Narrator supports real work and productivity. In Word, reading and writing are seamless, with clear feedback, smooth navigation, intuitive spelling, and strong awareness of structure. Tables and multi-level lists clearly convey hierarchy. Reviewing is faster, with simple commands for comments. In Outlook and Teams, reading, composing, and editing emails and messages are streamlined, keeping communication clear and focused. In PowerPoint, Narrator makes creating and reading slides easier, with clearer navigation and improved announcements of slide content and objects, across both editing and presentation views. Narrator is also becoming more intelligent. With Copilot-powered descriptions, it can describe images and graphs, summarize screen content, and answer follow-up questions, making visual information more accessible. Natural-sounding HD voices make extended reading more comfortable, while personalization gives you control over what is announced and when. For Braille users, plug-and-play HID support makes connecting Braille displays simple, with no complex setup required. Utilities like Screen Curtain, Speech Off, and Speech and Braille viewers support privacy, flexibility, and teaching. And behind it all, stronger fundamentals with improved performance and over 150 bug fixes. Narrator today is faster, smarter, and built for productivity. If you haven't tried Narrator in a while, now is the time.
Good morning. I'm really excited about the progress we've made in Narrator. It's great to see that come together. I'm Clint Covington. I've been at Microsoft for 28 years. Nearly half of that time, I have led the accessibility efforts for our productivity experiences in M365 apps and Windows. For me, this is more than a job. I have people in my life who I love who have disabilities. This work is deeply personal to me, and I'm driven to make a difference in the community. I also firmly believe that when we build accessible software, we make software better for everybody. The innovations we'll feature today will reduce cognitive load, save time, improve people's lives in a measurable way. As my friend Dave says, there's a high return on effort for the things we're doing here. We can only do this with feedback from the community. Your voices, your leadership, they don't just inform our work, they shape it. So, thank you. Let's first start off with teams. Chris, you lead the hard of hearing effort there. Can you tell me more about your role?
Hi, I'm Chris Sano. I'm an accessibility architect in the Microsoft Teams organization.
Chris, I'd love to talk to you about tethering. I remember one of the first meetings we were on. You were talking, I was hearing, and another voice was lighting up that I didn't recognize. It was an external company. I was confused why this person was asking those types of questions. What was going on there?
Yeah, I remember that. Because my video was not being elevated, there was no active speaker border around it. The only person you could see and hear was my interpreter. And to make things worse, the captions and transcript attributed everything to the interpreter instead of me. It was like I wasn't even in the meeting.
So from the systems perspective, the interpreter was effectively becoming you.
That's a good way to frame it. It's a huge disconnect because in this case, the person participating in the conversation and the person who was producing the audio was not the same. Voice tethering fixes that by linking the interpreter's spoken audio back to the signer. I have a video that shows what that looks like. We'll show two signing participants in a Teams meeting with sign language interpreters, Toby and me. Let's go ahead and play the video.
It's called voice tethering. So a deaf person can pair with their sign language interpreter And then teams make sure that they have appropriate attributions in transcript and captions. Toby, what do you think of it?
I think it's fantastic. We've been working on this for a long time. It's really nice to see it in the build. And now folks can use it. I'm excited to see what the community has to say about this.
Me too. I'm excited to see how this changes the experience for deaf and hard of hearing people using Teams. And then you think about the downstream impact on the meeting intelligence. It's great to be able to see your name in all the meeting notes, Copilot, all of those downstream artifacts. Very exciting.
Exactly. The future is bright.
What the video showed is that even though the interpreter is speaking, Teams now maintains focus and attribution on the signer. And now that carries through the entire meeting lifecycle. Facilitator, meeting recap, Copilot, all of it.
It really makes a huge difference, that little blue box to give attribution.
It really is. Yeah, most people never experience this kind of friction because meetings are already designed around how they communicate. I love how we're impacting how signers and those they work with experience meetings. It's a simple concept that is really powerful.
Yeah, Chris, I love how we're creating a more coherent experience for the sign language community, and then everyone who participates in that meeting, post-meeting content review experience. So thank you, Chris, and thank you, the Teams team, for the work that they're doing here. Let's talk about screen readers. Nidhi, who flew in from India to join this conversation, she's the principal program manager, product manager for Narrator. Nidhi, what have we been up to?
Thank you, Clint. Our goal with Narrator is to make it the trustworthy screen reader that you could trust out of the box in Windows. I am a screen reader user myself, and I know the difference between good enough and what truly reliable really means. And we've used that understanding to shape how we have approached Narrator last year. Teams across Windows and M365 have obsessed over ensuring that end-to-end tasks work seamlessly. In the video, you saw this come across three strong areas. One, strong fundamentals. These are about faster performance, smoother navigation, basically the foundations that help you build anything on top of. Second, real-world productivity. You saw in apps like Word, Outlook, and the web, reading, writing, and reviewing is seamless. And third, transforming experiences using AI. Copilot now helps describe screens, images, and answers follow-up questions. And personalization allows you to personalize what Narrator speaks, when, and how. We are truly excited about the progress. If you have not tried Narrator in a while, now might be a good time for all of you to try.
I love the progress we're making in Narrator. Not only does it make Narrator better, but the work we do builds a better screen reader experience for everybody. So love the work there. Can you talk a little bit more about how we're doing it and how we're engaging with the community to make progress here?
All the progress we are doing is with conversations with blind and low vision users. These are internal employees, external experts, and advisory councils. The community is involved right from the beginning, prioritizing problems, co-creating solutions, and validating what we have built. Let me share an example with you, Clint. Rail was not in our roadmap this year, and conversations with the community made it really clear that setup is not working. And so the team stretched, and I'm excited to announce that as of this week, HID support for Braille displays is rolling out a Windows Insiders program. These are the partnerships that These are deep partnerships with different organizations. It's the DAISY Consortium, the Blind Information Technology Solutions, and the National Federation of the Blind, who are not just advising us, but they're also helping build Narrator with us.
You know, narrator supporting Braille is just such a huge step forward because it really is this pathway to literacy, and employment quickly types behind that. Jonathan, you are the Executive Director for Accessibility Excellence at the National Federation of the Blind. We're thrilled to have you with us today.
It's great to be here, Glenn.
Why does the NFB place such an importance on a built-in screen reader like Narrator?
Well, good morning, everyone, and good morning, fellow delegates. This is a critical civil rights issue for the National Federation of the Blind. When a computer is accessible out of the box, it levels the playing field. And if you think about it, if a computer isn't accessible out of the box, that's the equivalent of a non-blind person walking up to a computer and finding that the screen is blank. It's the same thing. A built-in screen reader sets the baseline for access. If Narrator is strong, a blind person can turn on a Windows computer and get productive immediately. And a strong Narrator gives us the best of both worlds because we have effective access right away, but we can still tap into third-party products for additional functionality if we need to.
So many people have strong opinions about Narrator.
Yeah.
Some of those might be based on what it used to be. Are you saying it's worth a fresher look here?
Well, one of the constants in technology is change, right? And people's perceptions of Narrator are based on an older reality in many cases because they haven't tried it for a while. The pace of improvement means that impressions from years ago are just no longer accurate. We've seen Narrator become quite viable, particularly in Microsoft's own applications, improvements in M365 apps, better performance, progress in Braille, and the addition of AI image descriptions really matter. For some users, especially those working primarily in Office or in a web browser, Narrator is now a viable primary screen reader, and that's a meaningful shift. As Neil mentioned earlier, we are also very pleased to announce that Microsoft and the National Federation of the Blind are working on a Copilot training course that helps blind people start to adopt Copilot. Now, this is a training course designed by blind users for blind users. We're super excited about that.
I'm thrilled to be working with the NFB on this project, and also just a huge shout out to the M365 teams that have been working closely with Nidhi and her team. And I'm excited about where Nidhi's going to take Narrator in the next year. So we're not done.
Absolutely.
Nidhi, this is a little bit outside of a screen reader, but we've also been making a lot of progress in math equations. Can you tell us a little bit more about the journey we've been on with math inside of M365?
Yeah, sure. A year ago, DAISY Consortium had reached out asking to collaborate with us to do improvements in math. We understand digital math is truly important for full participation of students to learn STEM education and careers, especially if they cannot rely on the traditional paper-based methods. Working with DAISY, we have improved a lot of important scenarios, adding autocorrect codes, improving announcements when navigating through equations, and improved support for LaTeX. One thing that I'm truly excited about is about copy-pasting MathML from Copilot or different websites which support MathML into a Word document. It holds the semantic equation intact without pasting it as a raw data.
This is really amazing. 4 months ago, it was not possible to paste MathML. Now, we see over 3.5 million people copying and pasting math from a website into Office, over close to 160 million equations every month. Yeah. Many of those would have been images or inaccessible before, so it's just a huge progress we're making there. Jonathan, from accessible equations, how does this create new career opportunities, especially for people in your community that are blind?
Yeah, congratulations to Microsoft on this, Clint. The National Federation of the Blind is passionate about seeing greater participation by blind people in STEM, where historically we've been underrepresented. So we operate a number of programs in this space. Robust technology is critical to making good change in this area. So we're really pleased to see Microsoft adding features that help blind people achieve their full potential in STEM.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Nidhi. Love the work we're doing in this area, and let's just keep going. Let's push on that. Dave, welcome to the group. First off, I want to congratulate you on you publishing your new book, Leading with Imperfect Feet.
Yeah, thank you, Clint. That was
Yeah, let's give it up for Dave.
yeah. That was a bucket list item for me to do because being at my age, having to do the career that I did, the hassles I had to really overcome, I wanted to share how having a disability really helped me be the leader who I was.
I'm really excited about people learning more about Dave's journey. It's been a great friendship. I've loved the progress there. But let's talk about Copilot.
Yes.
And how Copilot has changed your experience here at Microsoft as a leader.
It has changed quite a bit. How many of you really enjoy typing? By show of hands, how many of you enjoy typing? That's what I thought, not very many. And now we can use voice to talk to our computer. How many of us watched sci-fi growing up? And you could see people just naturally talking to the computer. And that's what got me into computer science. So now we're at that era. We are living in the future. So I want to share with you how I use Copilot to really generate documents. Wait for it.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and play the video. Yeah.
So in this video, I need to create I'm creating an executive document on how productive I am using Copilot and Work IQ. I'm dictating a prompt to be able to say what I want, explaining pulled data that I've been collecting over the last few months, and it knows the intent, it knows where I use that data, and it's going to magically give me a first draft. How many of us stared at a blank white page for a lot longer than they care to admit, right? A lot of us. Now we get a better starting point, and instead of having to, like traditional voice to text, we had to dictate every word. So we had to think about every paragraph and then say it. Now we can just naturally do a lot of back and forth with it, like we had a scribe right beside us. And it really gets the gist of what we want to create with a lot less effort, which is fabulous.
Yeah, you know, I'm just really thrilled about the progress we're making with agentic authoring, where AI is now taking part and really reducing some of that physical effort that we have to put into it. And for people like you, that's just a huge difference.
Well, even for more people than me, like it's a lot of physical effort for everybody, which is great. And just the cognitive load that you would spend dictating took a huge task. For a lot of us that have dictated a lot, we know that mental strain.
You know, so Dave, as I sit there and watch Copilot generating and creating content, I feel like I'm living in the future.
Yeah.
It just seems like such a new world from where we've been. I'm curious, where do you see the future going from here?
That's an awesome question. So I've been working with engineers and people from all over Microsoft to really start using AI at a higher level. Now, if you look at the screen, it looks like DOS, for any of you that remember that long ago, or for those of you that will admit remembering DOS that long ago. And what I'm going to do here is simply that document you see me create, now I have to present this to leadership. And we know executives speak two languages, PowerPoint and money. So what I'm going to do is just, through my voice, create a beautiful PowerPoint presentation. I dictate in the prompt, and I just ask it to create a very stellar PowerPoint presentation. And then I want an email prepped at an executive level, carrying all those same data we talked before. So as you can see, through my voice, I could create a beautiful PowerPoint. I'm a lot of things people have called me, but a graphic designer is not one of them. So now I can get beautiful PowerPoints, and then through this, it even creates an email. Like what Clint said earlier, I call this a return on effort. I'm able to do a number of prompts and have it orchestrate creating a document, creating a PowerPoint, and a wonderful email. And what people didn't see throughout my career, I always had to spend a lot of extra hours after work doing all of this. Now, I get to finish my work at a normal time, and I have the energy and focus to spend time with my wife and enjoy my life outside of work. And that's what the future is about. Thank you.
I like that the dog liked it too. No, what Dave just said was really profound. It's given him time for the other parts of his life that he wants to put more time and energy into. Yeah. And it's not making stuff up. It's building off work IQ. It's your knowledge. It's your work. It's the things you bring uniquely to the table. So thank you, everyone, for sharing your stories. Thank you for the community, for your feedback. Enjoy the summit.